Hey guys, today we're making a healthy fish and chips. Now obviously this is not going to be a replacement for good beer battered deep fried fish and big thick cut deep fried chips or french fries, but I want to make something that at least tastes really good, is easy to make, and good for you. So this is all it takes. I have about 1.5 pounds of fresh cod here. It's literally all they had at the store. I would have bought more. I'm going to use about 4 egg whites per pound of the fish, and this is for the dredging, and again, not using the yolks. We're just going to use a tiny bit of salt just for seasoning. Again, we're using fish, so it's pretty much a must anytime you do that. Instead of the beer batter breading and deep frying, I'm going to be doing a crunchy, flaky crust made out of crushed up corn flakes. And we're just going to cut our own fries. They're going to be thin cut. Anytime you're baking fries, you need to make sure they're on the thin side, because if you go too thick, you don't have an even cooking doneness through the center. And you can peel them if you want to. I like the skins on mine, so I'm just going to skinny cut these with the skins on. There's a lot of nutrition in the skin, and I like the flavor, so no problem there. And we're just going to toss those in a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to season it with some cayenne. And then those are going to simply bake. So they should have a really nice texture and a little bit of a zest. And all we do to prep the fish is to cut it into our pieces, and we're going to put it in some whole wheat flour just so it dries out the surface there, and then we're going to run it through our egg yolks and then stick on our corn flakes and then spritz the outside with a little bit of cooking spray, and that will help it give it a little bit of that texture, flavor, and crispness on the outside. So that's it. This is all going to be done in the oven. And we do need 2 baking sheets. I only have 1, so I'm going to make the bottom one, which is going to be our fries or our chips, out of a couple thick or large pieces of aluminum foil, which is just fine. It doesn't need to be rigid or anything. For the fish, the trick to getting both sides or all sides of the fish evenly crispy is to cook it on a rack. So you do need a small rack. And let me pull one here. There you go. So, very cheap, get it just about anywhere, and this will just sit on top of our cookie sheet so we can get even cooking all the way through the fish. Let's go. Prep time is going to be a little long for me because I'm doing 8 potatoes, and I'm going to thin cut them. So scrub these, wash them really well, slice them up. That's all we have to do. Okay, potatoes are cut. You can see about the size I've done them, just normal French fry cuts here. When you get them all cut, and this is only 4 of the potatoes, by the way, more than enough to do what we have today. Well, I got it, like I said, 1.5 pounds of fish, so got 4 more to use later. Pat them dry with paper towels, and what we're going to do is make up a quick dredge. I'm just going to put in some olive oil, just coat the bottom. And no, we're not eating all of this, it's just to coat them. If you want to do it in small batches in a little bowl, that's fine too. And then we're going to sprinkle in, a good teaspoon of the cayenne. And simply dredge these. Now what I have is my sheet pan in the oven. It's preheated to 425, so it's ready to go. These are going to take about 1/2 hour, so they're going to take longer than the fish, so we're going to give them a head start. And all I'm going to do, I've got, where'd that go? Oh, I'm using it. I've got, these are going to go right from the dredge into the oven. So, I need another bowl. Man, I'm running out of bowls. Here we go. This will do. Once again, running out of space on camera. So, there we go. Mix this around a little bit. Just toss them in, get them coated. That's the oven letting me know it's ready. Make sure all 4 sides of each one gets coated. Nothing fancy here. And there we go. All our chips are prepared. Now, I've got the oven set up with the cookie sheet on the bottom rack. The other rack is set up from the second from the top, and that is going to do our fish. We're going to prep our fish and put that in as soon as we're done prepping it, as these are cooking, so they both come out about the same time. Now here's what you can do if you don't have two cookie sheets. This is what I'm going to use for the fish. Just doubled over some aluminum foil, put up the sides. This is just going to go right on the rack, on the oven rack, and then we have this little one here that's going to sit on top, and that's what the fish is actually going to be on. So this will catch everything, and this will help the fish cook evenly on all sides. But for now, we just need to spread these out evenly on the bottom cookie sheet. Now, those potatoes are going to go in for about a half an hour total. Every 10 minutes, we need to stir them and flip them, so they're going to be hit twice. In the meantime, let's do the fish. Very easy to do this. I've got the egg whites in here that I've whisked until they get a little foamy, just a light beat. I've got about a half cup of whole wheat flour, and I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cayenne and about a half teaspoon of salt. Just mix this up really well. This is going to be our base dredge. Now for the fish, I strongly suggest you get fresh cod. You could also use pollock. But you want a really thick, flavorful white fish. And we just cut this up into single-sized portions, whatever you feel like. You can see it's a very firm fish, so it's easy to work with. This is going to work really well for our dredging. Okay, so the first thing we do is just coat it in our flour and salt and cayenne mix. Just a light dredge. Forgot to tell you about the cornflakes. What I did is I put about 6 cups of cornflakes in a gallon Ziploc here and then crushed them up into a fairly coarse breading. Now we just want to put this in a bowl. About a half gallon after you've crushed it. Should be more than enough. Dirt cheap, store brand was $2 for the whole box. Used about 3/4 of the box. So we got our fish in here. Need to make a little bit of room. Tap off any loose chunks. Quickly just coat it in the egg white. Coat it in the crunchy bits. Give them a pat. Make sure everything's well coated. And if you want to use something else, you could use Rice Krispies, you could use breadcrumbs, all sorts of things. But cornflakes are nice and healthy. So I'll continue on doing this. We'll get the rest of the fish done. Alright, here's the end product. I grossly overestimated how many cornflakes I need. You can easily cut that in half, so, quarter gallon at the most, for 1.5 pounds at least. So now these are ready to go on. I'm just going to put them in on the rack, and it's been about 10 minutes, so I need to stir and flip the fries. And then these are going to go in for 20 minutes, so they're both going to come out at the same time. What I'm going to do before I put them in is to give them a quick spritz with the spray. just for a little coating. Alright, in they go. And 20 minutes is up. Time to take everything out. I'm going to do the fish first. Just going to take out the rack. And I got some paper towels set up here. That's what the fries are going to go on, just to catch any extra olive oil that's hanging around. So let's take it out. There we go. Everything looks great. Fries are not crispy like deep frying, but there is just no way to do that and replicate that crisp crunch of deep frying. But they are very perfectly done. Soft all the way through. Beautiful flavor. There's no salt on these, so you can season them as you like. A little bit of cayenne in there gives it a nice kick for me. That's how I like them. You want to do them Cajun, you can do a Creole. You can kick them up even more. You can use some malt vinegar. I happen to hate this stuff. My wife loves it. She'll probably use it, but you know, here they are. Do with as you please. And I'm going to pat them dry on the top a little bit, just a bit more. They're not dripping or anything. I mean, you can see that there's a little bit of olive oil residue coming off, but not bad whatsoever. And the fish, let's go ahead and open one up. Should be nice and flaky inside. I'll do a thick one here, do a worst case. But I'm sure 20 minutes is more than enough time for this. And of course, this is really meant to be eaten by hand. There you go. Look at that. Perfectly opaque. Still flaky. A lot of steam coming out. Very moist. Let me try a little bit here. See how this crust tastes. Kind of hard to cut it. It's so flaky. There we go. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah. That's nice. Needs a little sauce with it, needs some tartar or something. Definitely on the dry side, but the cayenne you can just barely taste in there too. And the corn has a nice little bit of a crunch. Alright, cool. I'm happy. That was relatively easy. If I wasn't making the video, it would have been a lot faster. There you go. There is healthy fish and chips. Season as you will. And here comes Chloe because she smells the fish. See you guys next time.